Marcus, after you graded the tape from Missouri, I thought two things stood out. One, the guys couldn't really rush the ball against what had been a pretty bad rush defense, and also the amount of guys coming free at Jason. Just what were the issues and the problems there?
I think that Missouri has done a really nice job of adjusting, not their scheme totally, but the way that they're playing. The run game, you saw it the week before against Georgia. They struggled to hand the ball off and get yards. They had to really attack the perimeter. Missouri's doing a nice job of plugging these plug blitzes, where they're just saying you're going to have to throw the ball to beat us, and I think that's changed it up for them. They've done a really nice job. As far as guys running free, it's just this is the cachet word that you hear coaches say is the communication, and communication means learning from the players and it means coaching from the coaches. So we had to coach better, and we had to learn better, and we had to execute better as coaches and as players, and make sure that we get the right box, the identifications in the box called correctly, make sure our eyes are where they need to be. There was 3 or 4 just glaring where we turned guys loose, and we hadn't done that a lot since early on in the season. I felt like we had progressed from that, and we kind of fell back on some old things.
Marcus, as far as Jason's 2 starts now, when you look from, start 1 to start 2, now going into start 3, what do you have to see from him progress-wise in terms of, leading this offense? What has to maybe change to be more effective? What do you see as, the biggest things that you point to from, those 2 games?
I think he has to, 1, take care of the football, and 2, he has to, I think, pocket awareness. He has to understand that, he's got a move that he uses a lot that people are going to, the teams we play from here on out are going to know where he likes to escape and how he likes to escape. So he's got to work up into the pocket, and that got us a couple times the other night. We had 50, 60 yards of negative yardage just because we're running backwards, and you can never, we said a long time ago, if the quarterback runs backwards out and gets sacked, that's on us. That's not on the O-line. So he has to work into the pocket. He worked into the pocket 3 times the other night and had 3 completions and 1 touchdown, and 1 was a completion for a first down. So he's worked on that all week. He knows exactly what he's got to do. It's not a surprise to him. He's worked at it. He's done a nice job. Had 2 good ones today. So I think he's going to really, he's going to continue to get better. I think he's going to make great strides over the next 2 weeks. But, just pocket awareness is the main thing he's got to continue to focus on.
Marcus, yesterday Kevin Harris was explaining that there's been some plays that you guys, or you in particular, have been adding to make him feel more comfortable. What is that process like when you come into a new school? You're trying to figure out players in terms of the philosophies and the schemes that you have planned, but also trying to figure out what works best for the players that you do have, and how has that gone as the season's gone on?
I think it's like anything, human nature. Like, I'll do anything if it works. And if a player comes to me, or if I feel, if players come to me and say, hey, can we try this or try this technique or run this play? JuJu put a play in last week on Thursday, a red zone play, and he called it Ruth. And I said, why you call it Ruth? He said, because it's always a home run. I said, all right. So we put a play in for him. And Nick Muse came in, we put a play. So we're going to do whatever these kids can, especially if it's a good, solid play and it's something that they came up with, they're going to really fight like heck to make sure it gets executed. So, we got, Kevin's one of our best players, one of the better players in the league. So we got to do things, whatever it takes to get him comfortable and get him going. And I think that he's gotten going these last couple of weeks. I don't know if it's as much as us making up new plays for him, but I think just getting him in a rhythm and really committing to try to get 1 or 2 guys a lot of carries.
Marcus, looking at with Jason, a lot of, he spun out of a lot of pressure, but how much of that is just, okay, that's what had to happen that play, and how much did you talk to him and say, you got to step up in the pocket sometimes?
That's not what has to happen. Every now and then, there's times where that's good and you have to escape that way, but then most of the time you need to be working into the pocket. The offensive line is responsible for the width and the depth of the pocket. We got to make sure that we're always climbing up in the pocket. That gets a little hairy sometimes. I get it because we've had issues turning guys loose, but we got to stick to the principle of playing quarterback and pocket awareness and pocket presence. So we've talked to him, we've showed him, and again, it's crucial that the 3 times that he worked into the pocket was 3 completions, a touchdown, and a 3rd down conversion. So he's done a really nice job of it this week. And even when we're not doing individual, you see him over there on the side just working, just training his body. Because, if you've done 2 or 3 moves your entire life, you don't just say, hey, I want to change it up this week. It's going to be, it's something he's going to have to train his mind and train his body to do.
Marcus, was Ruth ran on Saturday?
It wasn't yet, no, but we had a 2-point competition yesterday and we ran it. And JuJu was coaching his butt off, and one of the receivers didn't run the route exactly the right way, and he was JuJu. It was awesome to see.
And I am assuming that when he calls his play, he's calling his own number.
He's not, no, which is weird, but it is a really good play, nice little 2-point play.
Marcus, I think right now you guys are last in the country in fumbles right now. I know it's not all on the running backs, but I know Marshawn's was a pretty costly one the other night. Just what are you seeing from guys as far as ball security? I mean, is there something you guys can simulate? Is there something you guys can harp on there? And, what have you seen from guys in terms of holding on to the football?
We talk about it, every day. We do ball security every day. That was huge. Right when we got here from Coach Beamer, the ball security circuits that we do. We do circuit with the defense Monday or Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so it's a live, like combination of drills that we do with them for ball security. It's just honoring the fact that we give you the privilege to touch the ball. Like if we give you the ball, we're saying we trust you and we trust that you're going to use proper technique, and we teach them proper technique: the wrist above elbow, locking the backside elbow, just. We have to have great technique. The other night, the fumble, we turned a guy loose, and he almost took the handoff. That was one that I'm just glad that I wish we'd have fell on it, but the guy almost took the handoff. So that one's not really on Marshawn. He's got to try like heck to save us there. But the other ones are just, loose mechanics. We just got to continue to harp on it.
Marcus, with Jason having film out there now and teams having a better idea how to defend him, how much of that, after last week, obviously we know that he likes to roll out and he can extend plays, and that's one of the things that he brings to you guys from a skill set standpoint. How much can you work on something like that after, obviously with his background playing at St. Francis, and I'm sure high school he was probably able to get away with some of those things, but how much of that is just coaching, or is that one of those things that he just has to go out there and learn on his own?
Well, he's not. We're in it together, me and him. So it's it's coaching and it's a commitment to fixing it. And the great thing about him, and most quarterbacks are wired this way, is it frustrates him so much that happened. It was never an issue. Now it's an issue that he's that's something that he's focusing on to get fixed. So he's focused on getting it fixed. Working up in the pocket presence. I'm focused on it. So together we'll be able to do that. Probably not, but I think we're going to start to see improvement each time he goes out. But the main thing is, he's committed to getting it fixed, and we're committed to getting it fixed together.
Marcus, you mentioned 2-point plays. Just from an overall coaching philosophy, how much of that do you work on, from day to day in practice or year to year in practice, considering it's kind of a specialty play and you might not get to use it that much? How many plays do you actually come up with for 2-point?
Coach Beamer does a really nice job. We do every Tuesday, we do 2-point competitions, so we get 3 a day, ones versus ones. And in today's football, as you saw with Illinois and Penn State, with the shootout, the way overtime is now, you've got to go in with, we have 6 2-point plays that we've been working since camp that we can say water bottle, and they know where to go line up, just so we can get it executed that are specialty plays. So there's 6 on our call sheet every single game, just prepared for those shootouts that could occur in overtime.